How to survive an economic collapse when money's worthless, banks are locked, and your credit card is just a fancy piece of plastic you can't even start a fire with. Picture this. You wake up, the power's flickering, your phone buzzes with alerts, banks frozen, markets crashed, digital payments suspended. You try to buy bread, declined. You try to withdraw cash, ATMs dark. You try to sell something online, platforms down. Congratulations, you're officially broke, even if you weren't yesterday. The economy didn't collapse with a bang, it just stopped. No explosions, no warnings, just silence. And now, you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't access a single cent you thought you had. No worries, we're surviving this with scraps, science, and a little bit of chaos. Method 1. Stockpile before the crash, because hindsight is a luxury you can't afford. Start now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Grab shelf-stable food, rice, beans, canned goods, anything that won't rot when the supply chain does. You need at least a year's worth if you're serious. Not 3 months, a year. Because when you can't buy food, you're not just hungry for a weekend.
You're hungry until you figure out how to grow it yourself or barter for it with something you made from dirt and spite. Water. You need it. Lots of it. And not just bottled, those run out. Get filters. Berkey, Life Straw, or a DIY setup with sand, gravel, and charcoal if you're feeling scrappy. Boil it, filter it, distill it if you have to. Because when the taps run dry and bottled water costs a gold bar, you'll be drinking from puddles unless you prep now. Medical supplies, bandages, antibiotics if you can get them, painkillers, antiseptics. You can't call a doctor when the system's down. You are the doctor. Or your neighbor is, or nobody is, and you're stitching wounds with dental floss and vodka. Fun times. Seeds. Not the kind you eat, the kind you plant. Heirloom, non-GMO, the stuff that actually grows back next season. Tomatoes, beans, squash, potatoes. Start a garden now. Plant fruit trees. They take years to produce, but when they do, you're eating. Everyone else is fighting over the last can of peaches at the abandoned Walmart. Method 2. Learn to barter, because cash is trash and your skills are currency. Money's dead. Long live trade. You need things people want. Alcohol? Huge. Make moonshine, brew beer, ferment anything. People will trade food, tools, labor for a bottle of something that makes them forget the world ended. Cigarettes, coffee, chocolate, the holy trinity of post-collapse currency. Stock up now, even if you don't use them, especially if you don't, because the guy who does will give you his last chicken for a pack of smokes. And here's the kicker. Luxury becomes necessity when everything else is gone. That chocolate bar you're hoarding, it's not candy anymore. It's medicine for the soul. It's hope in a wrapper. And hope, that's worth more than gold when the world's gone dark. Skills. Learn to fix things. Engines, roofs, broken bones. Learn to sew, cook, purify water, start fires without matches. Every skill is a trade. You fix my generator, I give you eggs. You teach my kid to read, I give you flour. Simple, brutal, effective. But here's what most people miss. The best barter isn't what you have, it's what you know. A skill can't be stolen, can't rot, can't run out. You carry it in your head, and it pays dividends every single day. Knowledge is the only currency that appreciates in a collapse. Build a network. Find your people now. The mechanic, the nurse, the guy with chickens, the lady who knows which plants won't kill you. You can't survive alone. You need a tribe, and tribes are built on trust, trade, and shared desperation. Let's continue with method 3. Go off-grid, because the grid was never your friend anyway. Think about it. Power goes out, you need alternatives. Solar panels if you can afford them, wind turbines if you're handy, wood stoves if you're old school. It doesn't matter how. You need heat, you need light, and you need a way to cook food that doesn't rely on a system that just failed you. And your food? Learn to preserve it without a fridge. Canning, smoking, drying, fermenting. Your grandparents did this, you can too. Or you can watch your entire harvest rot while you starve.
It's your choice. Water. Collect rainwater. Get barrels, tarps, anything that catches water from the sky. Filter it, store it, because when the city water stops, that rain is your lifeline, unless it's radioactive. Then you're back to distillation. Simple science. Steam rises, contaminants don't. Science saves you again. Finally, get chickens. They eat your scraps, they lay eggs, and when they stop laying, they're dinner. Rabbits breed fast. Goats give milk. You're not running a petting zoo here. You are running a survival operation. Let's continue with method 4. Understand the informal economy. Because when systems fail, people adapt. When the normal channels fail, and they will, communities create their own alternatives. Barter networks, trade circles, neighbor exchanges. This isn't some quaint historical idea. It's survival when the official rules stop working. So find the informal networks. Find the guy with fuel, the woman with medicine, the neighbor who fixes what everyone else threw away. Build those relationships. Trade fairly. Move forward together. You have to operate outside of digital dependency. Keep some cash if it's still useful. Otherwise, it's goods for goods. Your wheat for their nails. Your labor for their shelter. Direct trade. No middleman. But a word of warning. Be careful. Desperation, it changes people. Verify everything. Test before you trust. That medicine might be expired. That helper might be more desperate than you are. Stay smart and stay safe. Method 5. Grow your own food, because grocery stores are now museums. You need land, but that doesn't mean a farm. Even a balcony works. Potatoes in buckets, tomatoes in pots, herbs on your windowsills. Every single plant is a meal you didn't have to beg for. Compost your waste. Those banana peels, coffee grounds, eggshells, that becomes soil.
The soil becomes food, and the food becomes survival. See the cycle? And learn permaculture. Plant perennials, not annuals. Asparagus, rhubarb, berry bushes. These things produce year after year. You plant them once, and you eat forever. Or at least until the locusts come, then it's back to the canned beans. And that's why you save your seeds. Every harvest, save the seeds. Store them dry, cool, and dark. Because next season, you're either planting what you saved or you're not planting at all. Method 6. Defend what's yours. Because kindness has limits when people are starving. Let's be brutally honest. You have food, others don't. The math says they're coming for it, so be ready. Locks, fences, dogs, a community watch. There is strength in numbers. You don't need a fortress. You just need enough of a deterrent that the desperate decide to move on to an easier target. But share strategically. Help your neighbors now. Build that goodwill. The guy you fed last month probably won't raid you this month. Probably. Maybe. There are no guarantees. And above all, stay low-key. Do not advertise your stockpile. No social media posts, no bragging. Quiet wealth is safe wealth. Loud wealth is a target. Here's the truth of it all. Economic collapse isn't a zombie movie. It's slow. It's bureaucratic. It's banks closing one day, supply chains breaking the next, shelves emptying one by one. By the time most people realize it's happening, it's already far too late. But if you start now, you're not a victim, you're a survivor. You have food when others are hungry, water when the taps are dry, skills when money is meaningless. You trade, you grow, you adapt. You don't need the system needs you. And when someone asks how you made it through, you just shrug. You don't explain the sleepless nights, the planning, the paranoia that saved you. You just say, I was ready. Because you were, and they weren't. The economy collapses, the banks close, the money stops. But you keep going. Not because you're lucky, because you prepared, because you learned. Because when the world said you can't buy or sell, you said, watch me survive anyway.